Personalities do not duplicate. Systems duplicate. I'm not the only thing here. There are so many great leaders. Everybody has something to offer. And so this person leads the Zoom, and that person leads the Zoom, and the other person leads the Zoom, and then Onyx will lead the Zoom. And so we're always trading and moving. So the system is about a lot of people as opposed to just one person. And so it's beautiful. We all carry a little bit instead of me carrying the whole thing or somebody else carrying the whole thing.
Welcome to Direct Selling Shift, an exclusive podcast by DSN. I'm your host, Blake Mallon, and this is where direct selling high performers and experts share their most powerful shifts in mindset, skill set, and strategy to help you accelerate your business and amplify your impact. I challenge you to be present, open your mind, and let the shift begin. Super excited to learn from our guest today. She is a single mother of 3 girls, currently residing in a small little island right outside Miami. She was actually a skeptic of the direct selling industry until finally, after the babysitter's parents just wouldn't leave her alone, she got her to say yes. And in just 7 years, our guest grew a team to over 400,000 individuals. An interesting story, actually ended up retiring from the channel for a period of time, came out of retirement in 2019, and in the last 3 years has already helped 29 people in her organization reach the top of the compensation plan and help grow her company's annual revenues from 20 million a year to over 320 million a year. Phenomenal growth rate. She's currently the #1 distributor in her company. She has a passion for people and believes and knows that if she can do it, you can do it too. Let's welcome Onyx Coale. Onyx, how are you doing today?
Wow, thank you so much. I'm fantastic.
I'm jealous. A little island outside Miami. I'm jealous.
Yeah, this time of year, it's really, really nice. A little bit of ocean breeze and a lot of sunlight.
I love it. Well, I had the privilege of seeing you speak recently at DSN's Direct Selling University. I know you were actually the only distributor on the stage, I think, that weekend, and you blew people's minds. So I'm super excited about our conversation today.
Beautiful. It was an honor, really, to be invited there. What a neat stage.
Tell us where this whole journey began. Who was Onyx Coale prior to direct selling? What got you to say yes to the babysitter's mom and really pursue this path? Would love to hear your story.
When I was in my mid-20s, I was living in actually New Zealand, and I went to Australia and I saw Anthony Robbins speak for the first time in my life. And Anthony Robbins was speaking about residual income. And I'm scratching my head going, man, how's a girl from South Florida going to create some residual income? I didn't know how to do that. Finally, everything clicked. And I said, wait a minute. I'm letting my friends and family make decisions for me about an opportunity that I know nothing about. So fast forward several years later, I was actually living in South Florida, and the babysitter's parents started coming over. And I said no, and I said no, and I said no. I think I said no 5 times. And let that be a lesson for everybody, because many people don't say yes to you your first time. You're looking for their window or their door to open so that they're ready to hear what you have to say. So often they're not saying no to you. They're saying no because their window or their door is closed. And mine was closed. No network marketing. And so the babysitter's parents finally invited me, and it was in December, and I had always taken the month of December off. And I said, okay, I'll come to the meeting at your house. And I'm bringing my youngest daughter, who was 5. I walked in the house. My youngest was scurried into another room. And for the first time in my life, I sat on the couch and I watched somebody draw the circles.
Mm-hmm.
I started scratching my head. I'm like, wait a minute. You can't make money in this industry unless you help other people make money. And the babysitter's parents said, that's right. And I said, okay, great. Come over tomorrow and we'll talk about me enrolling in the business. So for me, what got me was residual income. What got me was that you weren't able to, in traditional business, so often we have to walk over other people for us to be successful. And what I saw here very clearly was being a success in network marketing is about helping other people to be success. I aligned with that immediately, but I didn't know what I was doing when I said yes to this industry. So I have made every mistake in the book. and it still worked out.
I love it. I love the fact that you started and you're willing to say, like, you were a skeptic, you were running, because so many leaders, right, and individuals in this industry started that way. I'm curious, what are some of the most common, let's call them misconceptions, right, out there around network marketing and direct selling? And how do you address those today?
They don't come up anymore. So I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I have no problem saying, absolutely, this is network marketing. Absolutely, this is direct selling. I do not shy away from it. And here's the reason why. I participated with a company that did $1 billion in sales in the first 3.5 years. It took Microsoft 5 years to do $1 billion in sales. We did it in the first 3.5 years. Now, here's what was cool. That was neat. But when you're with a network marketing company that does whatever they do, $100 million, $300 million, $1 billion, whatever that is, typically they're paying to the field between 50 and 60%. So at that time, I watched my company pay out $600 million to regular people like you and me. And at that time in the United States of America, we were going into a recession. So what happened is the people that were in our organization, they weren't experiencing that recession. We were driving, we were building a huge business. Network marketing can change your life. And so I'm very, very proud to be part of this industry. I don't shy away from it at all. It's crazy, really, really crazy. But I think in the collective right now, so often we're recognizing that many of us have been programmed by other things. And we're saying, wait a minute, why do we feel that way? Why do we believe that? And for me, network marketing was one of those places that I was programmed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I love that you said you've made every kind of mistake in the book. And I've found that to be pretty consistent with, people that have gone to the heights that you have, and you have twice, right? It's one thing to do it once. It's another thing to do it again. But I'm just curious, what's maybe one of the mistakes, if you look back on that was one of those hard lessons, a mistake you made and a lesson you got from it that is still with you today?
That is the easiest one, because I'm a girl. And guess what that means? I love to talk. And so I would go up to my friends and go, blah, 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 blah. And my friends would be like, oh my gosh, what happened to Onyx? Where did she go? And so I had to learn less is more. Mm-hmm. And it was really, really a hard thing to spend more time listening and spend less time speaking. And so that's been the biggest lesson for me. And still to this day, it's what I teach my teams. Learning how to speak less and listen more is where you'll find your success.
And I know it's hard, right? Because we all get so excited and passionate about what we're doing, and you want to transfer that energy. But you're right. Sometimes just the more you say, it just doesn't quite come out the way that you meant it to. So I think that's a great tip.
Or you just speak too much. And one of the things I learned is that your energy doesn't have to just be in words. You can hold that energy and that excitement in your body, and they can feel it without you actually speaking anything. So I've learned I don't have to speak it for them to know, oh my gosh, Onyx is excited about something. I don't know what it is, but there's something in there. And I'm listening. And I'm listening all the time to figure out what's in it for them. Not what's in it for me, but what's in it for them. Because no matter what your opportunity is, you can set it up to meet them at their needs. And in today's environment, I find typically people are looking, a lot of people are praying about, how do I bring in some new income? People are looking for better health. And the other thing that people are really looking for is community. And so community is really a huge thing that we offer in network marketing. And like for myself, my children, I told them when I started, they were young. Remember, my littlest one was 5. And I said to my kids, all right, you all, you're not getting an after school activity every single day. Mom's going to go to work. But my goal is to earn that free trip to Hawaii every year. They went to Hawaii 8 years in a row. So they suffered in some way. They weren't doing every after school activity, but they got to go to Hawaii every year. And here's the cool thing. I was around other network marketing people and their children. And so what happened is my children are now grown up. So my youngest is not 5 anymore. She's now 21. Mm-hmm. And she now works with me in the business. So does my middle daughter. It's fantastic because I find network marketing people, these are my kind of people. Why? These people have a strong work ethic. They want to see other people succeed. and they like community, they like being around each other. So I love going on these free vacations. I love bringing my family, and I love my family interacting with other families. This is the best industry in the whole world.
I love that you touch on community and you share the personal stories, and I'm sure your daughters remember all those moments. And I'm going to put a pin in that because I'll probably want to come back to that community conversation. But your energy, I can feel. I mean, I can feel it. So, I mean, you can transfer energy. I once heard a quote that enthusiasm is caught, not taught. And you have that, that frequency about you for sure. So you got started in the channel. You had 7 years. You hit it out of the park, and then you retired. You retired for a period of time before you got started again. I'm curious, in that period of retirement, that gap, what were the things that you missed most about this industry?
So I actually sold my organization, which was amazing. Because remember, I started from never having done it before. And I completed the circle. I sold it. Mm-hmm. And when I sold it, my phone wasn't going off all the time. I'm like, this is crazy. I got to find Onyx again. And so it gave me a chance to get back into, what does Onyx like to do? What does Onyx want to do with her time? I miss the connection, but the friendships were forged and are forged, and they never go away. No matter what goes on, your friends remain your friends. And so my friends were still there. It's just, I wasn't waking up and working my business each and every day, because I believe success in this business is about consistently and persistently working your business a little bit every day. It's not a 9-to-5 job. It's a little bit each and every day. And over time, that compounds. So I missed, sort of that daily activity that I would do, but I didn't miss my friends. My friends were my friends. My friends are still my friends. My friends' children are still friends with my children. So it never went away, which is beautiful. But you do miss some of it. Absolutely. It's a special time. It's a special place.
So community, connection, the day-to-day relationships and activity, and obviously you came back, right? You made a massive comeback over the last 3 years, or are doing amazing things with your current company. One of those kind of cliche questions is like, what would your older self say to your younger self? But I want to kind of reframe that for Onyx. Was there anything when you got to restart? Because you kind of had a new beginning. You started once, 7 years, right? Reached the heights, took a break, retired, and then you had a chance to restart. You had a new beginning. What advice were you giving yourself in that second beginning? Like, was there certain things that were in your mind? They're like, this run, I'm doing this, or this is what I'm going to do different, or this is what I'm going to do the same. Like, what advice were you giving yourself for that second start?
What a great question. So remember, the first time I had no experience, I was doing basically on-the-job training, learning how am I going to teach my team? What do I need to teach them? Learning the industry while I'm learning the business and, my company and the product and how to build and all that sort of stuff. And so one of the things, actually, I talked about it at DSU, is that personalities do not duplicate, systems duplicate. And so in the first run, what I noticed is that it was the this person show, or the that person show, or the other person show. And one of the things that happens when you create an organization like that is you're on all the time. You never get any downtime. And so when I created the system this time that we utilize, it's not the Onyx show. So in fact, I love that it's not the Onyx show, because I'm not the only thing here. There are so many great leaders. Everybody has something to offer. And so this person leads the Zoom, and that person leads the Zoom, and the other person leads the Zoom, and then Onyx will lead the Zoom. And so we're always trading and moving. So the system is about a lot of people as opposed to just one person. And what that does is it means if somebody gets sick, your business keeps going. It means if somebody earns a free trip, your business keeps going. And so it's beautiful. We all carry a little bit instead of me carrying the whole thing or somebody else carrying the whole thing. So I think that's the biggest thing that I learned. And that was huge.
I think that's powerful. And I want to dive deeper there. And for everybody that listens to this, I also want to point out that one of the great things about this style of business is you can quote unquote restart whenever you want. And what I mean by that is mentally, right? And what I found is people that continue to achieve long term is they build the ability to constantly reinvent, constantly restart in the same place, in the same company, in the same business, but mentally go for, right, a new beginning. So whether you're brand new or 1 year in or 10 years in, right, you can mentally press the restart button and take the advice that you're getting right now anytime you want. It can be right now in this moment, it can be tomorrow. So Onyx, let's dive deeper there. Let's say that our listeners are like, yeah, I want to go to the next level. I want to restart myself, right? I want to go for a new run. And if your number one piece of advice is systems, what are some of the philosophies around what makes a good system? What are some of the components if someone's listening right now and they want to start becoming system dependent more than person dependent? What advice would you give?
What another great question. Wow. So first of all, I don't like to encourage people to spend time in activities that are not money making. So if you already have a system in your company that is working, plug in. Start using that, because you can spend days, weeks, hours, months, even years building systems that won't produce money-making activities. And what are money-making activities to me? It's enrolling people into your business. So you need to find out if you have a system that's already working in your company. And if you do, I encourage you, how do I plug in? How do I become a part of that working system? So do that. If you don't have that, then you're going to need to figure out what's going to work here. And this is a bigger Rubik's Cube in order to dissect, because there's different things that I find that are successful in today's systems. And some of it has to do with your company, with your product, and who's your avatar? Are you attracting the 20 and 30-year-olds? Are you attracting the 50 and 60-year-olds? Are you getting more women? Are you getting more men? So you've got to think about all these things, and you've got to think about your product. And how do I want to teach the regular person with no network marketing experience how to build a company? Because in network marketing, it's not what you know that builds, it's what duplicates. So it's not that I can speak for hours about my product. Who cares? Because when I meet somebody brand new and I speak for hours about my product, they look at me and they say, oh my gosh, I could never do that business. So I just stole their dream. Instead, even though I can speak for hours about my product, I don't. I lean on the system, because the system is duplicatable. And what I do is I text a link and I say, oh, you're interested in my product? Let me text you a link. And I text a link. Now that person goes home, reads the link, and says to myself, oh, I could do this business. I can text a link. So now I've served them in a way that's appropriate, instead of me telling them everything there is to know. So this is a huge shift. And if you come from traditional business, it can be tough, because in traditional business, we're taught it's about what you know. In network marketing, it's about what duplicates.
It's so powerful. And I want that to sink in for everybody that hears that. And, I wrote down a couple notes as you're talking. Who's your avatar? Right. And for those of you listening, by that question, who's your audience, right? Who's your target prospect? Who's the perfect person, right? You're trying to attract into your business, getting clear on who you're speaking to when you're designing a system. But that last point, Onyx, I kind of wrote down lowest common denominator, right? So like, what's the simplest set of steps? You said average, right? The average person can do. And you're spot on, because in normal professions, it is about how much we know, how good we are. We recognize talent, we celebrate accolades, right? And we're taught that, but in this industry, sometimes that can work against you, because then everybody looks at you and says, I can't be you. So I think that's so important. Any tips you give, like, what if you get the person that is the talent? Like, they can speak, they can present, right? They know the information, like they are that quote unquote, charismatic expert. What coaching do you give to that person to get them to understand that they might get in their own way and to make the shift to be system dependent?
So the first thing I will remind everyone in network marketing, as in life, you gotta wanna. And so I can drag that horse all the way up the hill, and I'm strong and I have discipline. But when I get to the top of that hill, I cannot get that horse to drink. So you bring in a big personality. I would prefer that personality would lean on the system, but they got to want to. And you're not going to change them from being who they are. They get to be who they are. That's the goal. But for me, what I'm always thinking about is what I call the avatar I call Sally Sue. And Sally Sue is that regular person that's never done network marketing. And so if I'm able to affect Sally Sue's life, either with better health or with better wealth, I think I've done a great thing. The Dalai Lama said in 2009 that the Western woman would change the world. And I think he was right, except what was missing is you have to put money into that woman's hands. Why? Because I find that we women, we spend our money in a very different way. So I love it when I can help Sally Sue make an extra $50,000 a year or an extra $100,000 a year. That's life-changing. I can't even begin to tell you how many of my girlfriends have said, oh my gosh, I got to put my son in this most amazing private school because of network marketing. This opportunity is amazing. Or, oh my gosh, I'm making my mortgage payment every single month because I said yes to network marketing. And I'm consistently and persistently working my business. So when you build a system or when you join a system, to me, it's about, does your system help Sally Sue succeed? And if you've got something that helps the regular person, Sally Sue, succeed, oh my gosh, it can be an out of the ballpark game. And what's out of the ballpark? Sally Sue gets to change your life. And if you have hundreds of thousands of Sally Sues that change your life, you've changed the world.
I love that. You just gave me chills. And you know, that's what our channel does better than any other channel out there. I mean, it's amazing when done right. You know, let's kind of bring that into the present, right? So we're getting from you, we gotta be system dependent, something that everybody can do, something that can duplicate. It's not about talent, right? It's about the steps that we can pass on to others. What does that look like in the here and now? You've done it in the past, right? In a different time period. We're in a season that is different right now. Like the velocity at which things are changing, the technology that we have access to, the disruption, right, that's happening. What are some things that are maybe different today in the present moment that are either working or not working, or shifts when we're talking systems today than maybe in the past?
So I think that, social media has come to life. So again, you got to figure out your avatar. If you're in that 20 to 30-year-olds, they're on TikTok. If you're in that 50 to 60-year-olds, they're on Facebook. So you need to figure out who's your avatar. Additionally, you need to figure out, do you have a company or a product that's able to actually do online ads? And how are we doing this? Y'all, ChatGPT is like going to be massive. It's going to be massive what's coming. And I'm encouraging everybody to get in front of it. Don't get afraid of it. But in the same breath, you want to be in there and pay attention. And so if your company attracts mostly 50 and 60-year-olds, then you want to develop a system that is in that category. At the same time, if you're a systems builder, I would be going back to your company and saying, hey, let's join together, corporate. Let's corporate and field join together to create something to bring in those 20-year-olds and those 30-year-olds, because they're a totally different avatar. So we've got a working system for the 50 and 60-year-olds that probably involves Facebook, that probably involves links, that might involve apps. I mean, apps are huge right now to be able to track. When I texted over that link, did they actually open it? That sort of stuff, that's great. But what are you going to do in order to bring in this younger avatar, if that's what you want to go after? So just pay attention to where you're at. One of the hardest things I think for all of us to do today is to recognize, if we're looking at an elephant, we're looking at an elephant. And so often we say, oh, but if we did this and we did that, they'll start to fly. They'll become an osprey. And I say all the time to my team, an elephant is wonderful. Recognize the elephant. The elephant does not have the DNA to fly. If you want to have DNA to fly, then you need to sponsor an osprey. Totally different. So value whatever it is that you have in your organization, see it for what it is and magnify it, because elephants are just as valuable as osprey. We all bring something into this industry, into this channel. And so seeing what you have, seeing what you bring, and then magnifying it is where you'll see real growth.
What would you say are some of the important skills or qualities that make success possible, right, in this channel?
I think it's endurance. So remember at the beginning, I told you a story about how I went and saw Anthony Robbins, And he was
Mhm.
talking about residual income. He also talked about wealth, and he talked about wealth being a 9-year journey for most people. And so I say to my team, listen, some people are going to show up here and bam, they're just going to blow it up. Why? Because they came with a set of skills different than you did. We all come with a different set of skills to this space, to this channel. And you're going to go as fast or slow based on your set of skills and your daily discipline. So I tell everyone, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. But the cool thing about that 9-year journey to wealth is you get to do it with each other. And what happens is you show up and you plug in, whether you're joining your company's Zooms or you're going to their conventions or whatever it is that you're to interacting with your teams and with your uplines teams and with your teams. What happens is you'll start to see, oh, Sally Sue just made this rank, and oh, Henry just made this rank, and oh my gosh, and your belief system goes up. I can do this. One of the things for me, because I had been an entrepreneur my whole life, but I never had a roadmap. And so when I got to network marketing, this amazing thing happened. They gave me a sheet of paper and said, this is the comp plan, right? And I'm like looking at this, scratching my head going, what is this? This is like French. This is the most confusing thing I've ever seen. Who wrote this thing? But what happened is after my dyslexic brain read it over and over and over again, I realized if I do this, I do this, I do this, I get that. I do this, I do this, I do this, I get that. All of a sudden, for the first time in my life, I had a roadmap to success. That compensation plan is your roadmap. And so each time, you guys, you're learning a little bit more. You'll get a little better. You'll get a little better. You're going to get a little bit better at prospecting. You're going to get a little bit better at promoting. You know, part of the business is prospecting, yes, but part of the business is promoting. How many people are you having on your team Zooms? How many people do you bring to your corporate conventions? How many people are you bringing around and plugging them in? Because building a network marketing business, totally different than going to a 9-to-5 job at IBM. You go to a 9-to-5 job at IBM, you're around all the same people in the same cubicle. When you're building something like this, you're plugging in. So you gotta wanna. Network marketing is a contact sport, and you gotta wanna. So I'm telling everybody, plug in, and you're gonna watch. This one's gonna go up, and that one's gonna go up, and your belief is gonna go up, and you're gonna start to hear the other people that are around you, that are in your organizations, that are in your uplines. You're gonna start to hear their words in your brains, and you're going to start to replicate it. And now your dance is going to get better, and you're going to start to get more yeses. And then you're going to go up in rank, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun, because the roadmap works. The roadmap works, but you consistently and persistently work your business. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's possible your organization was built in a day. It does happen, but it's very rare. My expectation is I'm going to consistently, persistently build my business. And over time, I'm going to watch it's going to grow. And there's something really cool in network marketing. You know what we have here? We have something called magical math. And Renita is the one who basically taught me this, or taught me the word. I love the word, because when we're in school, we learn 1 + 1 = 2 and 2 + 2 = 4. But in network marketing, 4 + 4 = 16, and 16 + 16 = 86, and 86 + 86. And all of a sudden, you've got magical math going on. And so over time, you'll watch the magical math will kick in to your organization. It's incredible to experience, but it happens one day at a time.
Magical math. I've never heard the term. I like
right?
that.
Isn't it great? I love Renita.
You gotta wanna.
Right.
That's gonna stick stuck in my head. I love that one word answer though. I've never heard it put that way and very succinct. Endurance.
Yes.
Takes endurance, right? You got to not quit. You got to go until, right? When everybody else stops, you keep going. And I love that answer, endurance. But you and I both know that's easier said than done. Yep. You know, like we all go through stuff, right? Life happens. It's never a perfect curve. What advice, Onyx, would you give to maybe the person right now that's like in the valley? They're discouraged. They're down. Life's hitting them, right? They're in that phase we all go through. There are doubts in their mind. They're thinking about quitting, right? And they're hearing you say endurance, right? In the back of their mind, they're like, you don't know what I'm going through right now.
Yes, I do. You know what?
What advice? What advice would you give?
We've all been through it all. You know, we all have bad days, I have people that say no to me too. I can't believe it. I'm like, really? Are you kidding me? People say no to me all the time. Next. I don't worry about it. I don't worry about it. And so I basically put my blinders on. And remember, you guys, this is the same girl that was completely like skeptic, get away from me. I want to have nothing to do with it. When I finally said yes, I had to put my blinders on. Why? Because that same friends and family that were trying to talk me out of it for all those years, now that I had said yes to a company, they're talking louder. And I'm like, you guys, la, 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 be quiet. I'm building my business. I know exactly where I'm going. And I don't let anybody steal my dream. So when I first said yes, I called one of my girlfriends. I've known her for 25 years. We met when our daughters were 2 years old. She had pitched me over the years, I don't know, 10 or 15 network marketing companies, right? So I finally said yes. And I called her up and I said, Sue, I said yes to this company and I'm calling you first. Do you know what she said? She said no. And my balloon went like this. Oh my gosh, did I make the wrong decision? Should I have said yes? What am I doing? All the doubt creeped in. And I said, wait a minute. I have a vision. I know where I'm going. I'm not letting Sue or anybody else steal my dream. And so I said, okay, I'm going to keep going. And remember, you all, it's the same girl. I was making all those mistakes. I'm talking way too much to all of my friends and they're all looking at me. I had to learn. This industry is about learning. It's about growing. It's about realignment. It's about finding your leadership skills. And it's going to test every single aspect of you. But you will become the best you that you can possibly be. And you'll get to do it surrounded by a group of people that are locking arms with you, that are sharing their success secrets. And it's the best ride you'll ever be on. So yes, does it go up and down? Yes. Does your health go up and down? Yes. Do your finances go up and down? Probably. So it's life, right? But you don't quit. You just keep going. You keep going. You keep persevering. Call your upline. Never call down when you're having a down day. Call your upline. I'm having a tough day. 3 people said no to me, and let them lift you up, and they will. I remember one time I had a girl call me, Onyx, I'm hiding under the sheets. Everybody said no to me yesterday. I don't know how I'm going to do this business today. And I said, I don't know either, but I know that you've got it in you. Why? Because I remember what your dream was, and you wanted to put your son in that special school, private school that you didn't know how you're going to afford. And so I'm encouraging you to get back out and try it again. And that's exactly what she did. And do you know, she put her son into that private school with the money she earned in network marketing. She had a dream. She didn't quit. She stayed with the endurance, and she watched over time. She built a business. Everyone can do this business. Is it easy? It's not easy, but it isn't we're not digging ditches, you all. We're talking to other human beings. This isn't awful. You're not on a roof, with tar on your feet going, oh my gosh, my ankles hurt. This is a beautiful business where people want to see you succeed. All you got to do is plug in and show up and consistently and persistently work your business. It's not an entitlement program. You're going to go to work, but it's good work. It's solid work, and it's work that'll make you proud, because you'll change people's lives one person at a time.
I love the way you said, when you're down, call up. I mean, that's the beauty of being able to work with mentors and peers and people that are there to help give you a helping hands. When you're down, call up. And when you're up, call down, right? When you're on a high, when you're excited. I love that. Are there any other kind of personal habits or kind of hacks that you do either on a day-to-day basis or when you're in those challenging moments, little tricks, right, or things that help you get through that you might be able to share with all of us that we can kind of put in our pocket when we go through it? So
I always stay connected. I always stay plugged in to the group, because for me, there's energy in the group energy. I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I stay plugged into my why, like this woman who had the sheets above her head, her why was about her son. I knew what her why was. And I know what's possible, because I can do anything I set my mind to. So can each one of you. Network marketing is built for women. And if you're a woman, I'm telling you, you were built for this industry. Why? Because we love collaboration. We love working together. You're built for this kind of opportunity. And you know what? There's no glass ceiling. One of the things I love about network marketing is any gene will do. It doesn't matter your race, your creed, your color, your religion, if you're a boy or a girl, nothing matters. We all start at the exact same spot. You go out and you talk to a friend and you put a person on your right and you put a person on your left. And we all build the business in exactly the same way. So you just keep going, just like you would with your kids. If your kid got sick, your kid had a tough day, you wouldn't quit your kid. You'd keep going. Don't quit on yourself. Don't quit on yourself. You deserve it.
I love it. I love what you said there, because most of this industry is women. I mean, it's led by women. Now, guys out there, hey, we have some amazing stories. We've had some great ones on the podcast, but I mean, let's be honest, the percentage wise, it's led by women, and I know you have 3 girls, right? 3 daughters. I know you've done all of this as a single mom.
Yep.
And I know you've gotten this question, I'm sure, your whole career. So, I mean, I want to ask it for all the listeners to hear your reply. There's always the topic of work-life balance. And as a single mom, and the mom guilt is real. Like, I'm a fairly new father. Mine are 7 and 5. Like, I get that to some extent. And being a mom, it's even more so. So what's your guidance to the single moms out there that are wearing the mom hat all day, and maybe they're juggling a job in the 9 to 5, and they're using this channel as their path to freedom, and they're trying to balance it all, and sometimes it just feels like they're overwhelmed. What guidance do you give them?
Sometimes you are overwhelmed. Can I tell you a personal story?
Of course.
So my middle daughter, Sierra is her name, she would say to me, Mom, why can't you be the kind of mother that's baking cookies and waiting for me after school when I get off the school bus? And I'm like, you know what, Sierra, that's a really cool mom, but sadly, that is not the mother you have. I'm busy out here trying to work to change our lives, to make a difference. One day, maybe I'll get to be that mom. So fast forward. So this was, maybe she was 7 or 8 when she would say this to me. I said yes to network marketing. Fast forward, and she's maybe 15, and I'm about to earn, I had just earned, I was about to receive a very large check, a bonus check. And I'm flying to St. Louis to receive the check. And my daughter said to me, Mom, I want to come with you. And I said, what? She said, I'd like to come with you. I want to see you receive the check. And I said, okay, Sierra. So I brought her with me, and I'm getting ready to walk on stage. And my daughter, the 14-year-old now, that had said, can't you be the kind of mom that bakes cookies? She passes me a note. And she passes me a note. And I read it and I started crying. And I came out onto stage and I read it to everybody on stage. And she basically said, Mom, you're my hero. And I've watched you. You've worked so hard and you've made a difference in so many people's lives. And you're such a blessing to so many people. And I'm so lucky that I get to call you Mom. And all that hard work just went, my kids got it. They got it. They weren't, their childhood wasn't stolen from them. They saw that I was doing everything that God put me here to do. And that was to bless other people. And my children benefited as well. So what I would say to you is do what's right for you, whatever that is. Your children will understand when they see you in alignment with yourself, in your passion, in your joy, making a difference with in people's lives. You're modeling behavior that will make a difference in your children's lives.
You're making me tear up over here, Onyx, and I don't tear up easy, but I felt that. And it's true. I mean, for all the parents out there, like, and we all battle it, especially when we're focused on our profession and we're living in our purpose zone, like you say. But I think what I'm hearing you put out just so eloquently is it's not about the cookies. It's about the example. And the best thing that we can do as parents and as leaders, right, is to be the example. And I can't think of a better example than what you're articulating, doing what you love, doing it, on passion, on purpose for others, showing, right, your kids what it means to live and build in a direction that you're fired up, that ignites you, that makes an impact. And you're teaching people not by what you say, but by through your example of what discipline and focus and endurance can do.
Can I share one other thing that I've learned in that?
Absolutely.
It's to be present. So when I'm on stage, I'm fully present. When I'm working in the, let's say at the event and there's all kinds of people there and somebody's standing in front of me, I am fully present. I am not on my phone. You are connecting with me eye to eye and heart to heart. And I encourage you to do the same thing with your children. So you may not have 15 hours after your kids get home from school. You might only have an hour. Turn off your phone. Be present with your children. Teach them, I'm right here with you. And I didn't do this perfectly. I did the best I could. And I literally 3 months ago, I called my kids and they're grown up and they work for me. And I said to them, I have to apologize. And they said, what for, Mom? And I said, because I'm so busy in the future creating, I have missed thousands of conversations you all have said to me. So when you all call me, I'm putting my phone down and I'm going to be fully present. And if I can't be fully present because I'm about to get on a Zoom or I'm about to get on whatever, I'm going to acknowledge that and say, hey, I want to hear what you have to say, but I want to be fully present with you. When you all give that gift of presence to your team and to your children and to yourself, oh my gosh, will your life change?
So simple yet so profound. And so hard to do today because we're always pulled in every different direction. So real presence means more than ever before. But I love that. And thank you for sharing that. You know, wherever you are, be there. And it doesn't matter who we are, what season of life we're in. That is truth. I want to be mindful of time and I want to get to some closing thoughts you have. But before I get there, I want to ask 3 shifts. This is kind of a rapid fire round. They're the same 3 questions I've asked quite a few of the guests so far. And I'm just a big believer that everything starts with mindset. And a simple mindset shift, a shift in perspective can change everything, right? Telling ourselves one thing and then shifting to telling ourselves something else can change everything. So with that in mind, I want to ask you, 3 quick kind of questions around shifts. First, more personal. What would you say is the largest belief shift you've had in your life? You went from telling yourself one thing, one story, to telling yourself something different, and that shift changed everything. What's the first thing that comes to mind?
That was a huge shift for me. So remember that Anthony Robbins story?
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up in Miami. I moved all the way to New Zealand because I had a story going on that rich people get their kids kidnapped and they get attacked and they get this, that, and the other. So I was running. And what I realized is I had one foot on the brake and one foot on the gas financially. And I'm like, what am I doing? This is crazy. So I had to undo that to recognize that there is a way to bless people, yes, with better health. And there's a way to bless people in building their own businesses so that they can make money. But you can also bless people with your time and you can bless people with the money you've earned. And so I had to shift to make it okay for me to earn exorbitant amounts of money. Money just makes you more of what you are. So if you're a jerk before you make money, you're going to be a jerk when you make money. If you're a generous person, you're going to be more generous. It magnifies who you are. But I had to get my foot off the brake and make it acceptable for me to earn money.
Great shift. So second question, for all of the brand new distributors, someone who just maybe got started in this amazing channel, they're excited about their company, their product, their brand. What shift would you recommend they make right now, right? To tell themselves, from going one story to another, what shift do you think is most important for the brand new distributor out there?
A brand new distributor will typically tell themselves, I can't talk to anyone until I know everything there is to know. Mistake! I want you to be ignorance on fire. The best thing that you can do is not know everything. And when somebody says to you, blah, 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 and you say, I don't know the answer to that, but I'll get back to you. Guess what just happened? You now got a reason to call them back. So I want you to pick up the phone. I want you to call your sponsor or call your upline, find the answer to their question, and then call them back. And what you've done for that person is you've shown them that you listen to them, that you value them, that you care for them, and that if they decide that they want to build business with you, you're going to be there for them. So be ignorance on fire. Don't decide you have to know everything before you can start sharing your product. Start sharing before you know everything.
I love it. Onyx, this has been great. Before we round out this call, we've covered a lot of ground, both on the personal level. Thank you for getting vulnerable, on the tactic level down to systems, both the perspective of then and now. Before we kind of round out this conversation, any closing thoughts you want to share?
I just want to encourage you to say that if I can do this business, so can you. There's nothing special about me. I'm just a girl from South Florida that spent my whole life running. The only thing that's special about me is that I consistently and persistently work my business each and every day. You can do this. You can do this business.
Well, Onyx, you're an inspiration. You're an example of what's possible. Thank you for the time and giving us your wisdom and your experience and your insights. I know everyone listening to this, there's something in today's conversation you can grab, make your own, and apply immediately to better your business and better your life. And now you have a gift, right? A gift that not only we're giving to you, but a gift you can give to others. And I know for a fact there's someone that came to your mind or your heart during today's dialogue, probably a mom out there that felt that conversation and the stories Onyx gave, that needs to hear this, right? So the gift that you can give is to share. The only reason we're spending time out of our schedules, the only reason Onyx is here away from her family and team, is to add value and contribute in a massive way. And you can help us do that by sharing this conversation. So drop by the podcast, make sure you're subscribed, listen to some other great episodes, leave your ratings and reviews, share this with the world, because as we share this insight and wisdom, we get better and we can make the world better. Onyx, thank you so much for the time. Thank you for being you. And thank you for being here with us. It was an amazing conversation.
Thank you so much for inviting me. You blessed me.